Bill's a client of mine. We've worked together on a bunch of projects. He's got more stuff than I can ever imagine. I put labor into his projects for his treasures, so we do a lot of horse trading. Bill and I were talking about this VW Bug project I had. He mentions, coincidentally, he's got one laying back here. Somebody changed the doors for some reason. It's pretty solid too, look at the rocker panels. Southwest car. There's no floor pan, no kind of VIN tag of any type, so I really don't know what year this is. He said he thought it was a 64 or 65. It's in really good shape. This is a perfect start. Somebody stripped everything out of it. I don't have any carpet to remove. It's off of its floor pan. I have another floor pan at the shop I can put this on, just to make sure everything is square. All the door gaps look good. I don't think the car was crashed. It's never been rolled over. He said it was a Baja Bug, so I don't think it was jumped too hard or really freaked out on. This is freaking perfect. There's no preparation. I thought usually you get a car, you gotta pull all the dead rats and bubblegum wrappers out of it. This thing is just clean metal. It's ready to go. I don't know how heavy these things are. There she is. Hi-ya. Get this thing harnessed up, get her back to the shop. All right, let's get the heck out of here. Putting it on the floor pan, you see it. It looks like a typical Bug. Everybody's got one. It makes me want to cut it up, change it around. This is a good reference to see there's no weight in the car. The VW is a great off-road vehicle, so you can see that this, as a Baja Bug, it had tons of ground clearance, plenty of headroom, big windows, you could see all the obstacles you're approaching. That's not what I want. It's a pretty tall car. I want it about that high. This new Bug, I'm really just trying to one-up a couple things in the chop I just did. Namely the windshield height and just the general appearance of it. There's a couple subtle changes, but I know I can move through this thing fast, and that's the whole plan. Just if I can reproduce this, maybe people will buy them. Maybe I can get better and better at it and sell them. I'm making this Bug different than the blue one for a reason. When you look at that car, it's really wedged down in the front. That's what I was going for. This one's gonna have a mellower, straight down look. I want this car to be really fast. I want it to be just wild, just totally custom, my own build. This car will look like a Volkswagen that's been modified, but underneath the outer skin, it'll be completely my own work. My plan for this is to cut it apart, piece it back together on the floor, and see how it looks. I took off the doors just to lighten the whole thing up. I'm cutting the roof off. The C-pillar's a pretty big deal, so I just want to get everything out of the way. Once I got the doors off, I had to figure out how I was going to go about cutting the rear of the C-pillars out. There's a million ways to cut a car. The VW in the rear in the C-pillar is kind of a unique shape, so I'm choosing to just delete it. It's going to be easier to build it back than to try to modify it. I needed to cut out the whole rear package tray. The reason is the body's narrower, so it's just fast for me to get it out of the way and build a new one. The whole trick with this is I'm leading the whole chop off of the A-pillars. Everything else is built to fit. So as long as the body's square and the A-pillars fit, carry on. It appeared I didn't mark this side of the car before I cut it, because I didn't. I'm that good. I know these cars. I just freaking go. That's why it's so quick. There's two ways to chop a top. You can either widen the roof to fit the body, or you can narrow the body to fit the roof. And I found that narrowing the body is a lot easier. You gotta be a little reckless if you want to get the best stuff. By cutting a car up and piecing and placing stuff, by mocking up pieces instead of like having a set definition of where you're going, it allows room for that little nuance, that thing that could potentially take it over the edge. And I just love the feeling of being a little reckless. I'm confident enough to be able to pull it off. Ultimately, I will measure out and line all this up, but right now I'm just tacking it. These proportions might change. Those cuts are pretty darn close to almost like a professional did it. I'm gonna tack this up pretty strong because these are gonna be the lead off on the rest of the chop. It's a 4-inch chop in the windshield pillars. Yeah, I think that's perfect. This rear window is obviously way too low. Something I was really stuck on was how this rear window was gonna fit. When I chopped it, it was too low, it was too big, it was all wrong in the back. I'm gonna cut out this window frame completely. I'm gonna move the top up 5 or 6 inches, and then I'm gonna bring the bottom up. So I'll chop the rear window, whatever looks right also. In my opinion, is the smaller the glass, the better. What that does is gives you more paint area. It looks like a larger sheet metal shape. And that's trick. See, it just brought the whole window frame up. And now if you look around the car, the windows are all at pretty much the same height. And in the end, I'm gonna figure out how much smaller the back window gets. Trucking along on this body, I got a lot of bracing and stuff. The plan for me right now is to weld in the top of the window. I definitely like the line. If you look here, how this line comes through, visually, that flows around pretty cool. I like that. Taking a lot of time just to step back and look at it. It's all about the visual impact that it has. The window openings are very important to me. I think I'm just gonna cut these 2 little tail pieces off and stick a tire under there and look at it. I have a lot of experience with moving Volkswagen bodies. So this is pretty much how I build everything. You know, you can draw stuff, but I really find it easier to just stack parts. That looks freaking bitchin'. Now that I got the body together, I want to put the doors on and fit out the window surrounds. I'm really stoked to see this thing mocked up. Put some doors on, see if that doesn't change the look. Okay, looks great. Now that I got the doors on, it's time to just fit out the rest of the sheet metal. It's all about detail. I'm gonna spot this in right now. I just trimmed off 4 inches from this upright to match the roof, and it's pretty close. All right, that's tacked temporarily. You can see how much work's gonna have to go into that later, but hey, looks good from this side. I'll weld all around the seams, then there'll be 2 little spot welds that hold the old sheet metal. I'll dent it in a little bit, slick it with Bondini, call her done. This is what makes the chop. It seems like a little detail, but the fit and finish is what really makes it count. Still gonna get a bunch more Bondo, hammer, dolly work, etc., but this is the metal fab. This is all the grinding and welding for the chop. The only way to explain if a chop looks good or not is to just look at it. It's really an individual take on it, you know? It depends what you're trying to do with the statement of the car. So I guess the worst case scenario is the windows are ill-fitting. You know, the lines look kinked, they're not smooth, and that's really what I'm trying to work past, just make it look factory. What you're witnessing here is the transformation of a VW Beetle into an awesome freaking hot rod. Now that it's laid out on the floor, this car is bitchin'. I think it's a keeper. There's always so many projects going on. I got this bug that I'm currently chopping, and it turns out there's a buyer for the blue bug. It's pretty crazy. I found a buyer randomly through word of mouth. This couple up in Canada heard that I built this car, and they want to buy it sight unseen. That's cool, but there's a bunch of stuff I gotta button up. To get this car rolling, I just gotta do a couple things to the front suspension and some minor interior work. Just trim it out and this car's done. The blue bug's been in storage for a while. I got it in another shop. I only got a couple days to make this happen, so I gotta get to it. Found this cool Ford axle. It must be a British Ford, I'm not sure. It's very narrow and super lightweight. I was thinking about how to improve it and kind of make it unique. Typically, the axle is a solid axle. These 2 centers are just joined. My idea with it was to split it, sort of like you see the later model Ford trucks, the independent I-beams. So I cut the axle in half. I took these bushings from leaf spring and just welded them in. So now the axle is sprung independently. Getting this front suspension dialed in isn't a lot of work, but it's technical. The handling of the car, the safety of the car depends on this front axle behaving correctly. All the proportions of the car are different. It's 2 inches narrower than it was. So I thought maybe this little axle would fit the narrower car, but even still, when I set it up in mock-up, it just looked like it needed to be wider. So I split it in half. I built this bracket. You can see it's about, I don't know, 8 inches wider than it used to be. And now it looks like it belongs that way. I'm gonna use air shocks on this car to suspend it. Being that it's such a lightweight vehicle, I can get away with it. Most of the times you'll see a leaf spring with this setup, but I think air shocks are gonna be fine. So the air shocks just bolt in like this, kind of at a diagonal angle. But I'm not gonna hook them up to test this out because it's just gonna restrict the movement. But you can see how they just fit in. It works. That's what I'm saying, just driving down the street, you don't need more than that. It's great. The attitude of a car, the car's face, are defined by its headlights. These headlights are pretty crazy. They're actually pieces of spun aluminum that I found in the scrapyard. So I really made this whole unit. I had some glass lenses and I made everything else. They're seal beam bulbs that I glued in behind these antique lenses. So they're 12-volt high-low beams They look like vintage car parts, but they're handmade. Really badass. The other cool feature is the way they mount on the car. So it's a round tube, so they're adjustable up and down. You can move them in and out because you'll see when you steer, it's very close, like so. And when the hood shuts, these strange little shapes clear the hood. When you look at it, it looks like a face. So I wanted them to be in the right position, wanted them to be the right size, and I really just tailored the whole mounting bracket so that it was clean and invisible. When you look at it, it looks like there's just two bug eyes looking at you. I made suicide doors on the car. You can buy a kit. I didn't want to do that. I was really just doing this for me. So to show off, I made some really cool suicide door hinges. So all this is developing too. I made my own hinge setup. This is the same stock as the headlights are made of, just I think 3/4, 7/8 solid round. Had a couple gate hinges, heavy duty with grease fittings. I made a bracket, welded it up inside the V-pillar here. I went suicide doors because I built a really radical VW once and I didn't do suicide doors. The first question out, why didn't you do suicide doors? So I figured, now nobody's got anything to say. What didn't I do? I haven't even driven this car. The measure of a car is how it drives, right? So I've really only started the engine up. I gotta take this thing out and spin it around and see how it behaves. Car is a blast. The crazy thing about this car is it is like a go-kart. I mean, it's miniature inside. It's really sectioned down, but it's a ton of fun to drive. It handles awesome, and the 50 horsepower that it has really makes it appear to be a strong runner. It's a ton of fun. It's like a big kid's go-kart. So here's that thing.
That's sick. That's crazy. Just crazy, man. My name is Mark Hayward. I'm from a little town outside of Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada. Thought we'd come all the way down to California and meet Ian and pick up that beautiful little gem we got sitting over there. Oh, man.
But I fit. You're about 6'2", right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. This is gonna be all right, man. So this car here, I mean, I basically bought it sight unseen. It was just spur of the moment type of thing. Like I say, we corresponded on email, and he said, well, maybe you're interested in this Volkswagen I got. And he sent me a picture, and it was pretty much a done deal. I mean, how could you not? Just taking one look at that thing. It's phenomenal.
Very excited about having the car in our collection. And now we can take it back up to where we live, and I know it's going to be a showstopper wherever we take it. And that's something that we enjoy. We enjoy going to the car shows and having a one-of-a-kind car.
But the cool thing is when you're at the car show and you want to show off, you won't show everybody where the secret switch is, but you might, there's a secret switch under there, and then you just pop the doors like that to get in and out.
Oh yeah, this is gonna just, blow some people away.
I'm a little bummed I didn't get to enjoy the car, but the customers, they seem like they love it. They're really stoked on the paint color and the overall attitude of the car. It's a win-win situation for me because I've already got my mind set on the new car I'm building, and they're happy with what they got.
Oh yeah, I got something for you. I brought you something.
Okay, I heard that there was a little treasure in the trailer.
I got a little treasure in the trailer, all the way down from the frozen north.
Whoa, what the heck is that thing?
That's a 51 Henry J.
Holy moly.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever seen one. It's pretty crazy. Mark brought down this Henry J. It's a bitchin' car. It looks like they're doing like a pro street thing. This car was sitting around Mark's garage for years. He's in no real rush to finish it, but he wants me to build it. That is a great compliment. That's crazy, and it has no trunk. What kind of car doesn't have a trunk?
We have lots of projects, both Viv and I, and I'll never get to them all, so it's like, okay, let's give one to Ian and see what he comes up with. And if it's anything like that Volkswagen over there, we're gonna get a pretty nice hot rod out of this. Seeing his work, you know, through the video, seeing the car now in person, yeah, I mean, I trust him 100%. I think it's just his creativity, and it gets down to his hands, and that's what he can fabricate and do. So, yeah, I have full faith in him to turn that project we just left him here into something. He's just a guy that can take nothing and build it into something. That is phenomenal in my book.
Pulling this car up next to a stock Bug really shows you the difference. My friend Todd had a stock VW, same year. When you put them side by side, you see what's going on.
Same exact car, you know. Only difference is
Ian's touch. Ian's touch. Eh?
only difference is everything.
Mark and Vivian came down to pick up the blue Bug. Mark is claiming that it's his. Vivian's now talking about she wants a Bug. She wants a pink Bug to rival Mark's. I told her that I was chopping a new one, and she's all about it. So it looks like I might be building her a car now. This thing is snowballed into something ridiculous. They're picking up a car from me, they brought a car down from Canada, and now Vivian's talking about wanting a pink Bug to rival Mark's. All I know is I got a lot of cars to build. One cool thing is I have this stock length floor pan, and it's got surface rust. It's got a couple modifications to it, but it'll be ideal for the buggy project. The whole thing is start with a clean slate. So starting with an unmodified stock floor pan, it's just as if you were doing it back in the day. The shop inspectors aren't totally on board with what my plans are here, but I got a couple ideas. I got a few tricks that should turn it in my favor. There is no time like the present. Let's get back to the shack and start configuring. I've done a bunch of VW dune buggy projects in the past, and I put a spin on each one. They all have a very unique character, and this one will be no exception. They do say that diamonds are a girl's best friend, but I don't think we're at that capacity just yet. There's one thing I can see, is the diamond in the rough. That's the key in every relationship. It is not forged at the starting moment. It's nurtured, it's built up. It's a refined process based on respect, mutual admiration, and a lot of money. Solid body, solid chassis, time to get to work. First thing on the agenda is the first thing with every dune buggy, chassis, and that is it needs to be shortened. You see how it comes up and over the top? It fits up perfectly here, but when you look at the front, see this part here has to mate with that part here. It's always about a 14-inch chop on these style. You always take it out behind the emergency brake because that's one of the straightest parts in the whole chassis. I'm not 100% as to why dune buggies were created on a shortened floor pan, but I can imagine the turning radius, you know, they'll turn corners a lot tighter when they're shorter, and the shorter wheelbase acts kind of like a Jeep in that it won't high center, won't get caught up between the tires if you're crossing a rock or something. Bottom line is the shorter wheelbase makes it look a lot more like a toy, and that's all thumbs up from me. Kind of like a heart transplant, you get to see all the things. At this point in my career, I've done so many of these projects that shortening a floor pan is kind of like washing the dishes. You know what you got, you know where you're going, and you just go through the process. All right, well that's the 14.5-inch section. You can see it's very close. What I did is I made this key cut here. So see the floor pan will overlap the rear. So I got two keys. So these will join on the edges, but then the center sheet metal will be a lap joint. This slice and dice was the first step in our buggy creation, and you know there's gonna be a lot more where that came from. It's gonna be awesome. Well, long story short, a lot of tedious sheet metal welding. I butt welded the tunnel together, capped it with this 1/8-inch steel plate, and I lapped the sheet metal on the floor pans and welded top and bottom. And you can see it looks like it's supposed to be that way. Next step is the front bumper. You know, establishing the front, the look, the face of the car is the first step I want to take in this project because that's the character. Foremost in my mind for this vehicle is safety. So God forbid this thing loses control, smacks into a rock. I want a good bumper, bottom line. It's gotta look good and it's gotta function. Before I can build anything, I need to get the front and rear suspension mounted so I can make it a roller. You know, back in the day when the dune buggy craze was really in its prime, you could buy just about everything. It was a real catalog-oriented bolt-on market. So people were building their own stuff, and that's kind of where I'm trying to stay. It's like, well, every catalog built buggy would have certain elements, but mine are unique. I just want to chuck this body on here. That way I can take a look at the front end and see like how the bumper feels. Perfect fit, like it was made that way. You can see with the shortened wheelbase, it's already got that speed buggy feel, you know? You got your rear tire here, you got your front tire here. As per the usual, I like to loosely assemble all the parts just to see what I'm working with. Now, the envisioning starts. So it's gotta look good, feel right. Something about the V shape of the buggy in the front, I don't wanna lose that. It's cool, I'm just gonna take some right out of the center. This style of joining the tubes is used all the time in a lot of different ways. It just becomes part of the assembly. It's trapped in there and it makes the tube join way stronger. Now, how do we attach it to the car? It's the old welded jack stand technique. That. A method as tried and true as the jack stand itself. That's what I'm looking for. It's not straight down, it's not just bland. This is what I was hoping for, you know? It wasn't a real wild throw of the dice. I just needed something that looked right on the front of the car. So this triangulated structure will be plenty for this car. It's not gonna be doing the Baja 1000. It's starting to look a little bit more the part. I think my big issue is the way that the shape of the fiberglass looks with the tube right now, but later when the body's mounted, probably gonna trim it just like that. The last element to the bumper is a skid plate. These fiberglass bodies are pretty weak and the gas tank is right up front, just like the stock Beetle, so the skid plate will protect anything from coming up and piercing that fuel tank. I like to keep it real simple in the Wild West. Just a few simple mounting tabs underneath and this skid plate is ready for some skidding. Now, one cool thing about these screws is they never seem to go in on the first try. Try number 1. Try number 2. 3. It's a good thing the shop inspectors aren't around because this is the exact type of incompetence that they thrive on. It'll just be between us. Let's get one in. There it goes. I look at that bumper and it's gnarly, dude. I gotta say, this is the impetus for the entire project. It's gotta be straight to the point, looks cool, totally functional. You might not see it yet, but I know I do. So let's get to seeing so you can see what I see. See what I mean? We'll see. Now it looks like a race car, doesn't it? What a difference. I got some tubes mocked up just to look at this bumper idea. You know, I started with some 1.5" tube, set up some tabs, and I kind of got an idea of how they're gonna get arranged. So these are gonna come in like that on both sides. Under the engine, you can see 2 more tubes with the same detail. So that's the setup, and it's nothing new. The only thing I'm doing different is making it unique. You know, how do I make something that's not like one you would buy off the shelf? In the way that I fabricate a lot of things, consider it like the first time you walk up a staircase, right? You put 1 foot, you figure out your balance, and then you step again, right? And the more you climb, the more accomplished you feel. So with these style bumpers, this upper tube is usually perfectly straight. I don't want the bumper coming way out here and then having that thing firing right into it. So I think what I'll do is to match the front, I'll come in with kind of a V design. Because I want these 2 tubes to be parallel on both angles and just go under the exhaust and over. It's a pretty straightforward project, and it's another case where these sleeve inserts really streamline the process. So it might be just a bit too wide. Let's see. Whenever I'm making something that I don't know what I'm doing, which is most of the time, I always leave the ends a little bit long, and I creep up on the end result. good and tint. I'd say we weld it. Just like the front end of this buggy, the rear end is the same. I'm gonna triangulate the rear bumper and, of course, add in that skid plate to protect the sump of the engine. That bumper is good to go. Dynamite! So that's the look, you know, all the function is taken care of. The top side is where the fun happens. What does it look like when you approach it? What's the statement of the car? I got one main element that's gonna really make this thing shine. End of the day, success. You know, we got this part. It's usable. The main thing is to see it on the car. Oh yeah, now look at the parallel.
Yes.
That works, this works, look at that.
Yeah, man, that is so cool.
Stand around, you know, taking in all the looks. That roof line really gives it a different appearance in relation to a lot of those 70s buggies with the weird giant cartoon roofs on them.
Makes me want to throw on one of those old school trucker hats or a bandana.
Go sand duning. All I could say is this ultimate wedding present is starting to take shape. All right, I got a bunch of stuff done to this roof. It was a little rough coming out of the mold, but I did some patchwork, a little body filler, smoothed it out. It's totally usable, as ugly as it is. This project is equal parts fashion and function. As much as I love the look of the roof, you gotta be able to get into that car. The more I was thinking about it, just crawling through this space, it's always an issue with dune buggies. It's like Dukes of Hazzard style, they have no doors, you know? So I'm gonna make the whole roof hinge open. The upside of this is that the fiberglass is super strong. The downside is it's super thin and flexible. So I created a metal hoop and some side plates to reinforce it and keep it in place. Makes it very rigid. That's using your head. There's a lot of complicated ways you could create this hinge mechanism system, but out here in the Wild West, I go for the straight ahead approach. Real simple, you got a hole there, you got a hole there. That bracket just bolts in. Part of the way this roof was designed and my mold wasn't even set up to fit on this car. I always figured I'd have to do some adjustments later, so this metal bracket inside allows me to both rigidize it and to make the panels line up with the body lines. Seems like a simple task, but without this metal structure, it just wasn't gonna fit, so it's like a dual purpose win. Voila! See, now that's parallel, as it should be. So the idea is you don't have to crawl through these holes. You just approach the vehicle, lift her up. You got all the room in the world. You can just come across. Piece of cake. In the end, this roof will have a very simple latch to keep it shut while you're cruising. That's the easy part. The next step is the venture into the great unknown. The root of everything, I'm a pretty good fabricator. Also at the root, I'm not that good of an upholsterer. Therein lies the great next challenge. I want to cover this with vinyl. That's my goal in this never-ending car quest, is to just keep on keeping on, you know? Try to improve on every aspect of car building. It seems like it's gonna look okay. Holy stromboli. There's no guarantees with stuff like this, you know, no bolt-on parts, no factory fit-ups, really just you against a car that seemingly does not want to be put back together. Oh, reminds me of the last time I went surfing trying to put on my wetsuit. It was just like this. It was horrible. Maybe I'll put it out. No, that's maxed. I can feel it, it's maxed out. Bottom line here is I have enough experience to know when I am bamboozled. I can read it right from the moment I first stretch it, it's not gonna fit. Looks so easy on TV, doesn't it? Looking at it, I think I may be able to just make the corner, just get a grab if I can just stretch a little more material. Nope. I have to come up with some kind of creative solution. I'm sure every do-it-yourselfer at home has faced the same thing, you know, whether you're putting in flooring or painting a wall, you get right to the end of it, and it's like, ooh, I'm out of material. The show must go on. The big thing here was if I got a wrinkle in the center of this, there was no way around it, so I really paid attention to the center. I just got away with it. But all in all, that's a good look. Talk about putting lipstick on a pig. Watch me go. Next up is the paint, and that will offer me some time to consider my creative solution for this roof issue.
Let's play with some lines.
Yeah, great minds think alike right away. Alan's lines are complementing the front shape of the body. No, I see what you're saying. That really does add to the V shape of the front of the body. I like that, it's like an arrow. So what if the graphic not only was on the hood, what if this line came all the way through like that, but then it continued back here. So it's like it came through the whole car.
Yeah, no, that is really cool. The way it comes down, shoots all the way to the back.
This got kind of like that, you know, Wonder Woman, kind of 70s, kind of pops off of the surface. You think about, you know, the t-shirt styles in the 70s, or like the tube socks with this, you know, very simple lines on them. We're trying to translate that flavor into this. You know, yellow's her favorite color, so I mixed up this paint. I know she's gonna like it.
Very 70s.
That's what I was thinking.
Very
you know?
70s, I love it. Yeah.
That with a little flake on top of it, I think it'll look mellow, and then in the sun, it'll have a lot of action, you know? Let's mellow it out even more. Oh yeah, look at that. That just went to custard.
That's a mellow yellow. Nice.
It looks like we have a perfectly loose plan. I'm gonna let Alan do his thing. Make Jamie happy. Make her proud of me.
Yeah, definitely.
I think this dune buggy's wrapped up. First and foremost, shakedown run. Desert hills, you run this thing and see what falls off. The terrain around this area is pretty unique. It's not like sand dunes. That's why I chose the tires I did, because this thing, it's like a little tank. The short wheelbase, and when you put big tires on them, they bounce around. Watching them go is only half as fun as actually being in a driver's seat. Alan was a huge help on this paint work. It's very simple, but there's a couple of details in there with the metal flake that really makes it count. Now it really hits home. Like, why the heck was this guy building a wedding gift that's a weird old dune buggy, right? Now you can see, got a lot of trails, like hundreds of miles of trails when you go out touring. I gotta say, I hate to be selfish. I love this car. I hope she does too. So, for the lady that has everything, like what could a man like me possibly offer? And all of the ruminating has led up to this.
Oh my God. Is that a dune buggy?
Yes, thought you might like one of these.
I love it. It's amazing.
Yeah, it's basically a Volkswagen, it's a stick shift, but it can go anywhere, all around here.
Oh, I know how to drive stick shift.
Right. I gotta say, this is why we got married. She's thrilled. You know, sometimes I could impress people, and she's one of those people.
It's perfect.
It's got some Mustang taillights. It's
I
got a
love
Volkswagen engine.
it.
It's got the metal flake paint job.
Is that glitter?
Oh yes, it's got the glitter.
I was genuinely surprised. It's beautiful. It's so cute, and it just looks like me. Like he picked it out for me. He knew that it would be perfect.
Authentic 70s antenna on a spring.
It's like totally like a 70s vibe.
Oh yeah, it's fully legit 70s funkadelic machine. You know, I thought about this a lot. I thought about the colors, I thought about the comfort, you know, the way the paint was laid out. You know, I want to personalize it. I know her style. Seems like it was a good choice.
It's kind of like a Wonder Woman-y, like vibey.
I was thinking about
kind of
that
like
type
look.
of thing.
Yes.
Like it's got a flavor. When you look at the car, like what's it make you feel like? Let's rock.
Right. This is definitely a wedding present. I would have never expected it.
Hop in, check it out.
Okay. With Ian, he creates, and he's a builder, and that's how he shows his love. It's perfect. It's perfect. Thank you.
Stop with the thanking and get with the driving.
Nice. Oh my gosh. It's so good.
You're a natural.
Surprise.
Right? It is a surprise. I see some stuff I recognize, but some stuff I don't.
It's a Volkswagen pan, and you know I'm not a Volkswagen guy.
You know I am. He's brought it to the right place.
That's why it's here.
Me and Hector were playing with it a little because I wanted some other kind of roadster or something, but with Ian's touch, you know, the Ed Roth feel and his space junkie vibe.
Yes, sir.
I said, who better could put this puzzle together and make it look cool?
I think you're looking for an excuse to get some extra sheet metal out of your yard, but hey, you came to the right place. Clearly, the tables have turned. Normally, I'm the one that's pitching all the crazy ideas, you know, cardboard, masking tape, all the envisioning tools. Here it comes. Even in my backyard, the world works in mysterious ways. I see your envisioning tools are hard at work. It's just a wedge, just straight up, looking like a log splitter almost. Just something comes straight down to a sharp blade in the front, huh?
This is your name written on it. I mocked this up mainly so I could get my space of where the interior was gonna go and that I fit in it. This here, to me, feels right. The rest is whatever you think. I got some extra parts. If you could use them, you use them.
Put this thing back in the shop, and I gotta say, this is a super loose mock-up, probably one of the loosest we've ever started from, but he said I have free reign, right? That's what I heard. So I'm gonna do what I think needs to be done. I love the idea of building a concept from nothing. Victor pretty much came in, made a bold statement, and dropped the mic. He's like, that's your job. So we can reference that should we need to. All I've ever wanted to do is just build my own stuff, so Victor's showing me that opportunity. All right, we got this mouse trap out of the way. He's talking about these rims, 22-inch diameter rims on a Volkswagen. Let's just see. Take a moment to digest the possibilities. I'm not 100% feeling those rims. I'm not opposed to big diameter wheels, but something about the stagger, right? You want big in the back, little in the front. That's the hot rod flavor. Looking a little like a roller skate at this point. Victor likes big rims and he cannot lie. Now we're getting somewhere. Helps, we're trying to hide that engine, so we're trying to pack as much material around that as possible. Those rims do just that. Wheelbase is way too short. Close together or far apart or just right. See what I'm saying? Right now, it's got the Mr. Peabody look. It's kind of like really close together. Smaller wheels would appear farther apart. I got that car all whacked apart, so Victor brought this menagerie of parts as usual. We're gonna try to do something with these fins and these two sides of that Metropolitan. This is the beginning of a delicate dance. Stacking parts, arranging parts, moving them around, and at this point, your guess is as good as mine. See, when I saw the Metropolitan body, I knew I wanted to wedge the front of it down to get it as low as possible, and man, it's got that kind of a wedge shape already. I know the wheelbase is gonna be longer. How much longer, I have no clue. As much as I like that tire centered in the fender well, I think the back of the car should move as far forward as possible. Tuck it right to that engine, I think. It's the moment of truth. Weirdo-rama. Oh no. That is kooky. All of a sudden, it looks really, really tall at this point with that fin stuck on there. Let's see if we can make this door hinge and look as low as possible. With this Metropolitan body, I see a way to minimize the body height, but I don't want to get into sectioning this, bringing the hinges closer together. So I'm cutting right through the bare minimum this door is going to need to stay in place and hinge. So that's as low as it can be. Space Junkie was successful because it was so squished. Let me see what it takes to take off this door handle. I might just cut the whole top of this body off. At this stage of the game, I'm basically grasping in the dark. I have no idea what I'm up to. Just looking for that thing that's like, ah, there it is. So I'm gonna take off that front tire and use it as a template. I wanna be showing the tire complete, so now you can see that panel doesn't look so big with that massive hole cut in it. Sometimes you just need 3 tires for a 2-tire job. I think I'm gonna cut the top of that door off. See the camel hump on the front? It's no bueno. It's got a swing, ring-a-ding, swing, baby. Just going for a feeling, it's going for a good vibe. gotta have a lot of cowbell. It's gotta be special. I'm thinking like that would be the turnaround. This cool little ribbed detail. During this process, you have to use the gentlest of touches. Like picking a rose when in full bloom. Here. Easy. Pretty loose arrangement, eh? What I'm looking at is this fin ending and then the body continuing like such, right? You got a lower wedge, so it's like boom, boom. Right there. The door just looks so appropriate coming right to the tire like that. This is the true envisioning process. I know it's not in plain sight, but it is if you look in just the right places. Anybody, right? You walk in the door and you look at this, it's like, what is this? I guess I do get caught up in my own brain sometimes. Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. Look how big that quarter panel is. Without that tire on, whew, that wasn't gonna work. Aha! There's a tire in there. I can't stand it. First I didn't like the rims, now I'm all goosey. This style rim might win me over after all. Having a body panel next to this wheel, it's like, whoa, wait a second. Yeah, that's hot rod. Proportions everything, and looking at that taillight hanging off the back end, I'm like, ooh, we gotta tighten that up a bit. This is what's gonna sell the back end of the car, in my opinion. Everybody hold your breath. Probably have to step on it once or twice. Woohoo! I'm feeling this. Shoots the line right across from the rim to the rim. If Victor doesn't like that, we're gonna have to have a serious discussion. I gotta say, it was a little dicey. I flipped, I flopped, bent and unbent, but I think this body line works. Flows right through. The front is looking impossibly low. I love it. Everything about this is progressing for sure. The front of the car is just looking too boxy to me. I got an idea to enhance this front grille and the way it meets the door hinges. We are 2 sides closer, and we're still not playing with a full deck. On to the next. The old scrap it, then lap it trick. Look at that. You saw the cardboard mock-up. It's like a big box on the front, right? This puts the shape in it. I mean, just shape, like right now. It's just a matter of getting that top stacked appearance off of the back of it, and then tapering it to fit the nose cone so that it guns down. It's still a little bit high in the front and high in the back. Sometimes we just have to be pushed into the evolution process. I mean, yes, Ian, you are worthy of putting awesome parts on your car. Ooh, look at that puzzle come together. That is a savory stew right there. I decided I was gonna cut this hood dead center. Knowing Victor, he's probably gonna put a little peak with some filler, so a weld seam hidden in there is ideal. So this is all screwed together. It's nice and strong now. It's gonna be a long seam to weld, so the screws are gonna hold it in place perfectly, so I could take my time welding. I'm gonna pop these side panels off. You can see how straight shot these tubes are. So the sheet metal is just following that. So now the sheet metal is gonna follow the curve of that, which should make it more better. So graceful, I mean, what a good call. These sides are just gonna follow the contour now. I'm gonna take the suspension off. Unfortunately, I did cut those holes in the front. I'm gonna have to do some piecemealing back together to get around that. Apply the sides, continue on. When you're sitting down at dinner in a nice restaurant, steak dinner in front of you, that's all you're thinking about is the final product, not the goings-on that happened at the beginning of the process. This is exactly where I want it to be. I mean, look at the great shape. It's just not even triangular anymore. It's just like graceful, like a boat. I mean, Zephyr's a beautiful car. It's a good candidate for our butcher job. I am dying to put the front axle on this just to look, but we're not running those tires. The openings won't allow the radius arms to go in, but I mean, the body shape to me, feeling it. Had another one of these, same unit, right? What if you just put them together like this? Look, they match.
That's like the back bumper of a UFO, if I'm not mistaken. This is pure sculpture at this point. That's my favorite thing to do, so it only follows that that's all I think about 24/7, right? Just might work. I love how it's like a super exaggerated roll pan. I love the orientation of the fins and this curve right here. So it's coming in your eye, it's coming down and back up right here. We're talking about the wedge, right? So this is like from here to there. Just gotta come up a little bit more. I want this to raise high up enough to access the engine, etc. I want the whole back of the car to open. So I'm gonna come up with a little hinge plan, swinging from the stock mounting location on this deck lid. The nut gets welded to the car, and the deck lid swivels around it. Drum roll, please. Yeah, I mean, you have perfect access to the complete engine. This is gonna get cut back somewhere through here, so there's a lot of room to offer. Definitely cool. I love this dip in the Studebaker fin. It's got some more flow, you know? It's more organic. Name the state. Start it right where it fits the best. I'm gonna begin the mutilation process. It's starting to curve this piece of flat steel, and it's putting a lot of stress in the panel, which is gonna make it super strong. You're gonna need that rigidity for space travel. Seen some craft come apart at Mach 6. It's a messy scenario. I took my time, did all the welding, fabbed out the whole rear corners, and it's almost time for Mr. Cacho to take over on this creation. I love the fins and the taillights, but looking at the center section, it's just kind of mute. Time's a-wasting, it's running out. What's my last call on the look of the back of this car? I think I got one more idea. Two of the things I saved were from a Cadillac. I don't know what year that is, but that's definitely in the front grille. You got all these little chrome bullet shapes, and man, maybe Frenched in a bit, a little in, a little out, just a big oval opening with this insert. You know, it'll be functional and look pretty spacey. It's like that 13-year-old kid with braces, right? I'm thinking, man, the Zephyr hood classed this thing up so much. Wouldn't a little bit of Cadillac in the back look good? I want to frame it out with some round tube. Might have to roll it a little. I don't know. That's the adventure. You may think you've seen all my tricks, but alas, the story has just begun. Get my mega magnet and stick this in place. It looks like an average piece of steel. That's how powerful the magnet is. It could pull a wall down if I'm not careful. Hours of fun with your friends. Love it. So you just stick it on the car, stick your piece in place. I think I'm gonna pull it down a little bit because I'm seeing like a graceful arch. Been on the horn with Victor. He's doing some serious thought and gathering for this vehicle. I think it's ready to head down to his shack. He says he's got his interior mind going. Victor is the fit and finish master, you know? He's like, no, you just hung the skin on the body. I'm ready to dress it. I've seen him be reasonably conservative on some of the projects, and I've seen him go off the walls on others. So this thing, who knows what could happen. Now let's put this wire to hold it as a reference, but that's kind of the look. This really added to it. Now the deck lid has some dimension to it. It's like an alien face. It's pretty weird. That was the last major aesthetic change. We're still working on some concepts for the windshield and dashboard. I think the momentum is building. This car at this point, as wild as it looks, it's still a blank slate. Once it gets into Victor's hands, all bets are off. The only thing I could say for sure is that we're not sure where it's gonna go from here. Let the dice roll. Victor called me down to the Cacho residence talking about change. Business as usual with this guy, always hustling.
Check this out, Ian. I might need a few more slight enhancements.
Yeah, as usual. Wait, what? Wow. Whoa. Talk about a jaw dropper moment. I'm just like, wow. I'm expecting a car in the middle of some kind of crisis. This thing is awesome. Holy moly, you've been a little busy.
I slightly changed a few things.
I can see the changes. It's orange now.
You wanted a cheese biscuit, you got it.
It's done. It's finished. It's beautiful. It's even orange, like sharp cheddar. I love how you changed the fins, because you kept saying like the grill looked like an angry rat with the ears sticking up in the fins or something, but this totally fixed it. One major change in the back was the taillights are disappeared. He rounded off, and I gotta say, good call, man. It looks smooth.
It defines its own look, right? I mean, tell me when you've ever seen that before.
Never. It looks great. I just wondered, like, you know, what are you gonna do for taillights?
I got taillights. I'll never live that down. Everywhere I go, where are the taillights? Stay there. I don't want to take that heat anymore. Taillights.
Oh, right on. Stealth mode. I think the car is a little bit of everything. It's futuristic. It's definitely got street rod vibes. The classic panel shapes of the old cars we used are represented, so it's kind of a mashup. It's its own thing.
And the original bubble topper where we started blowing bubbles, I brought it and made the windshield out of it.
Right. Okay.
And I just kind of added another contour to it.
I like it. Yeah, I love the interior.
Clean and classy.
We did flip-flop in conversation on the wheel choice. I tried spokes. He ends up with these big diameter, like exotic car rims. And in the end, it is an exotic car.
These are off of a 4x4 truck.
Right, I know the style, the big lifted trucks with the small, low-profile off-road tires. And now I see what you're doing, man. It works. With Victor and I, our collaboration is always sort of the perfect storm. You know, he's like, I got these crazy ideas. I'm like, well, I got this crazy brain and I got a welder. And every time it works out really cool.
You know me, I'm a fanatic. Once I get started.
Don't say that. A fanatic? I would never have thought. Victor fires it up and tells me to jump in, and I'm like, where? There's no room in this thing. This thing's right out of the garage, so he's like, hey, let's go up to the park, do a few laps, see how it feels, you know, see if the tires are gonna fall off. My first ride in a roadster just sealed the deal for me. It's like a chopper with 4 wheels, and you got the same vibe in this car. It's very light. The arrangement of the chassis allows a guy 6'2" like me, I can put my legs way up in the front of the car. There's tons of leg room. You're right on the road. It's loud as heck. It's super fun. That's the weirdest Volkswagen I've ever ridden in. I've ridden in some weird Volkswagens. I think the cheese biscuit is gonna get renamed to Cheese Whiz. This thing moves.
I was never a Volkswagen guy, but now, hey, I think I converted. Do I need a sticker saying Volkswagen guy or something?
Yeah, I can get you that. I got your t-shirt also.